Bookish friends. It's your girl Alyssa, and I'm here with my friend Chloe. She's a book blogger, a booktuber. I'm a huge fan of everything she does. We're going to discuss some of her favorite books, and we're going to discuss some book recommendations as well. So grab a fun drink. I'm drinking some hibiscus tea,
Mhm.
and let's dive into some of Chloe's book recommendations. Without further ado, hey Chloe, welcome.
Hello, hello. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to break the ice with you. Before we start, can you tell everyone a little bit about you and what got you into reading?
Okay, let's do this. I'm Chloe. I'm 25 and I'm from Texas. I will say what got me into reading is in 2022, I was honestly just looking for something to help me fall asleep at night. Like I just wanted to literally that's it. And so I read some random book on Apple Books, I think like some free book. And that actually helped me for a while. And then I saw one of the popular titles that was like trending at the time. And I was like, oh, let me do a pickup order for that. And I read it in like one day. And from there, I read like so many books in such a short amount of time. And I haven't put down a book since.
That is so fun. I've loved your YouTube channel and how you vlog kind of what your day looks like. I love your outfits, the way you make coffee. Everything is so cozy and curated. How did you
Thank
get
you.
into book blogging and like sharing it with the world?
So I would say that I have been like a part of social media and a part of a couple of different niches over the last like couple of years, but like the bookish space is the one that's really stuck because I think it's the one that I guess, most passionate about.
Mm,
What made me start my bookstagram is just that I was posting on my main Instagram about the books that I was reading, and it was just kind of like talking to the air because nobody really cared over there. And I was like, you know what? Let me just make a page dedicated to this and find people who also like to read as much as I do, you know? And from there, I don't know, grew it to what it is now and have met so many different people like you yourself. And it's just been amazing. But I think over the last year and a half, I would say I've kind of shifted to more, I guess you could say lifestyle content because I feel like I have built genuine connections with the people on my book blog, I guess you could call it. And so I share more of my personal life and more of the things that I love outside of reading. Um, because that's what I enjoy. So I didn't want to just keep myself in a box of only being a reader because that's not what I am. I like things outside of reading and books. So I think that
mm.
sums it up.
I will say that like getting a little deeper into it, seeing you do your little like reels and posts about getting your nails done,
Mhm.
talking about how you do, there was one YouTube video you did where you talked about like your hair care and learning about your curls and how to care for them.
Mhm.
There's this combination of like I guess like navigating your Black girl experience as you're going into womanhood, self-care,
Mhm.
making time for your relationships while also making time for yourself. You balance it so beautifully, and you've actually inspired me to like prioritize myself more, and like I get my nails done sometimes with my partner now
I
on the
love that.
weekends. It's so cute.
That's amazing.
You've brought the whimsy back, and like you've inspired me to do that, which is it's hard sometimes. You get caught up in the
100.
grind of work and things.
Mhm.
So I just love like whenever I watch the things that you create, it reminds me of the vibes of Gilmore Girls, but like if I was able to be in the show, and that's the energy you
Oh,
give. It's very cozy and genuinely grounding, and I love it.
thank you. That is so
Yep.
freaking sweet. Oh
Yeah,
my
it's just
God.
very great. And I'm
My
sitting here and
cheeks hurt.
yeah, like this is giving that like safe space, very grounded in the joy of reading, the joy of like enjoying little things with your friends just by yourself.
Mhm.
And I don't know, it's been very like inspiring for me and like warm and cozy. So I
I'm so,
had to share like how much of a fan I am. I'm such a
thank you
fan.
so
So
much.
yes, 100%.
Oh my goodness.
I wanted to have the listeners get to know you a little bit more from your book choices recently. So before we dive into some of your like favorite books of 2025 going into 2026, I wanted to do a little bookish icebreaker.
Perfect.
So I wanted to ask you, you'll share yours, I'll share mine. What
Okay.
is one book you've recently bought that you love, and like show it to us, tell us about the book and everything.
Okay. One book
So
that
a
I
new
recently
book
bought that I love, like I haven't read
that
it,
you
or
love.
I have read it.
You have not read it yet. It just like it pulled you in.
Oh, okay,
It's a
okay,
new
okay.
book.
Perfect. Perfect. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. So that would be Loving the Legend by Kit Gray. Um,
Ooh.
I don't know. Did you read Heated Rivalry? Did you get into heated
I read
rivalry
the
and stuff?
first book in the series.
Oh, okay.
I am behind. I am behind.
No,
At
you're
my
good.
Libby, like it was not available. I guess
Oh
the
yeah.
hold was very long. So, but I
Mm-hmm.
have read the first book with
Okay.
Or Kip.
Kip and Scott. Yes.
Yes. Please don't take my gay card away. But yes, I read the first book, and it's very cute. I'm enjoying it.
Yes.
It's very long, but it's very cute, and I
Mm-hmm.
like it.
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
Well, Loving the Legend has been compared to Heated Rivalry, but this is like basketball and it's the black
Ooh.
version. So the main characters are black. So we love that. And that's why I picked it up. It's also on Kindle Unlimited, which is where I intended to read it. But I was at an indie store and I was like, hey, I've seen that book. And so I had to grab it because I think it was like, it was either the only copy or only one of two copies. So it's like, I
Ooh.
need it. I need it.
Loving
So
the
that,
Legend.
yes.
Okay. I love this. Okay, I will match you with that. So you
Okay.
have a new book that you recently got that you're excited for. It's got LGBTQ themes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I also have a new book that I recently got, also LGBTQI plus themes.
Period.
And this is Bittersweet Song by Rosie
Ooh.
Hewett. This is a Hewlett. This is a debut book about it's a retelling, which we love. It's a tragedy and it's sapphic.
Okay. We
Why
love.
why do I want to hurt the world? You never know. Um so this book is about two women who grow up as close friends in Rome, and long story short, one of them is a servant and one of them is a princess, and you begin to realize that their friendship evolves into more. But
Okay.
unfortunately, one of the women ends up being one of the main characters in the Odyssey,
Mm.
and you know in the back of your mind she ends up with someone else, and history remembers her with someone else. But this girl that she grew up with, who she's become close friends with and who's now is like her lady in waiting, there's a class divide. There's also a divide in like historically in their stories. One is known as a background character and one woman's known as the
Mm.
main character. Her whole
Got you.
appeal is like being a romantic lead. um but they are secretly in love with each other in a time when they cannot be together, and
Wow.
that's what this is about.
Hmm. That
So
sounds
yes,
amazingly heartbreaking.
it's I've heard that this got compared to Song of Achilles but sapphic.
Okay.
I haven't read Song of Achilles yet
Neither
because
have I.
I've just like seen pictures of people crying over it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I won't emotionally survive. I own it too, so I do plan on reading it this year. I'm scared, Papa. So I'm excited to read this one. I also own Songbirds and Snakes, and I read that recently. So I'm just like mentally getting prepared for the tears because I know they're gonna come for other books I want to read. But
Totally
yes,
valid.
Sweetbitter Song is one book that I recently bought that I cannot wait to read. I don't want to give too much away. If anyone's read the Odyssey, you probably know who I'm talking about. But I'm trying to keep it vague for folks who aren't massive nerds. So there's that. But yes, this is a retelling of sorts.
Thank you
So
for the
that is my new
recommendation.
100% Sweetbitter Song. It just came out. The UK version is gorgeous. It has them both like standing in a temple, and you just see the floor and these two silhouettes of women like far apart but looking at each other. The special edition is stunning. But I'm sitting here like, you got to read the US version first, baby girl, before you can buy the expensive UK version. So, but I saw it and I was like, ooh, temptation. I was like, but
Mhm.
no. Okay, what is one book that you have read and that you loved that you want to
Okay.
share with listeners?
That would have to be Please Don't Go by Salvador.
Ooh.
This was originally indie, but she is actually being traditionally published, I think, sometime in June. But this is a sports romance. It's about a baseball player and a swimmer. They're both, it's really heavy. It's got like mental health rep, but there's also like friends to lovers, slow burn, found family, like all of my favorite things. And I picked this up at a time when I was kind of like, I guess you could say like in a romance slump, like all the romance books I was picking up just weren't hitting.
Mm.
But this had like everything I needed. Like it was deeply emotional, and I feel like the characters like built the emotional connection first, and then like um you could see their chemistry, and there was also like spice that was just so tasteful and perfect for them. And I don't know, it is a thick book. She's thick. But I, by the end of it, was like, where's the rest? Like, I need more. I don't want it to end. So, and there's also like a lot of dialogue too, which I feel like makes it go by fast. And yeah, I don't know, but definitely please don't go. It renewed my, or like restored my faith in the romance genre, especially for like um, the newer published romance works, if that makes sense. So,
Ooh, I love that. I adore the romance genre. I think that every single romance I read, I need something niche so they don't all blur together. I need a character to
yes,
like stand out.
for sure.
Which is like I guess a follow-up question. What is something in the romance genre you love to read? And what is something you feel like is getting kind of like overplayed?
Um, I I don't know. I am a big like banter person. Like the characters have to have banter because I feel like that adds to like the chemistry they have and even
Mm.
the like emotional connection that you have because that banter kind of determines like I guess like how far you can go with this person before it's kind of like okay, that was too far, you know what I mean in your banter. So I feel like I don't know. Some of the books that I was reading, it was just like, I guess insta love. Like they're in love as soon as they see each other. And it's like, well, how am I supposed to believe in this? Like, I feel like in real life, y'all probably would date for a week and then never talk to each other again. You know what I mean? But like with these
Ooh,
books, I'm supposed to believe that they're going to have their happily ever after and be together forever. Do you know what I mean?
I get that.
So I think I feel like that's a small thing, but a big thing for me is like the characters having that playful back and forth, I guess. And what I really liked about this one too is that it's Grump or Golden Retriever and Black Cat. Like she's the Black Cat, he's the Golden Retriever, you know? So
Ooh.
yeah.
Ooh, I love that. Okay, my last icebreaker question for you is actually,
Wait, what's
I didn't share
yours?
mine. I kind
Yeah.
of escaped. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for it. Ignore that. Okay, so a book that I love, period, I can never step away from it is okay, it is I Accidentally Summoned a Demon Boyfriend
That sounds
by
so
Jessica
fun.
Cage. This book is so fun, and the special edition it is not this, but the special edition you see the main character, she's over his shoulder and he's like carrying
Mm,
her, and you see like her face is the cover and she's reaching for you, and you see his
mm.
back and he's got like big red horns, and then on the back you see him smiling and like carrying her into hell. That is this special edition,
That's iconic.
and it's so it's black, it's romanticy, there's humor, there is spice, there is a lot of like discussions about what it feels like to be loved and what that looks like in a relationship that
Hmm.
people may judge you for. It's a grown love. The main character is established in her life. It's beautiful, and we got curvy rep, which we love to see.
Yes, always.
Yes. So in this book, it's the first book in a series, but you can low key like you don't actually have to read the series in order if you don't want to. I met the author. She's so sweet.
Stop. That's
She's
so
really nice.
cool.
She's a super cool person. I
I
met her at
love
a See
that.
Me Let event, and this is the cover of this copy is a beautiful black woman in like a purpley dress, and she is being like hugged from behind by this beautiful black man with like big red and black horns, and they're covered in flames, and she it does not look mad about it. So in this book, I think her name is Reina. She is a really big fan of this romance book, and she gets drunk one night after a really bad date, and in her romance book there's a spell to summon your soulmate, and she's drunk and she's like F it, I'm gonna do it. So she does her little dancey dance and she summons her soulmate. She's very drunk and she's thinking like, oh, it's not real, and then he appears. He's very real, and she's like, this is a fantasy, and he's like, no, he's like, I'm a real person, and she's like, if this is a dream, then you can do whatever I want you to do. He's like, what do you mean? And it goes from there. It is
Wow.
funny. It is spicy. There is a demon dog who's like a puppy who won't leave her alone.
Oh,
Um,
that's perfect.
it is so fun. It reminds me of like the Mead Mishap series by Kimberly Lemming.
You're
It's
definitely
if
giving
you
those
like
vibes.
that,
Hmm.
you'll love this.
I'm
Lots
into
of
it.
humor, lots of spice. Her friendships as well in the story play a pretty major role, which I like as well. Like what it means to have a good friend versus what it means to have a bad friend. There's mental representation for like mental health. and the way that Black women are perceived with mental health. It is so freaking good.
I definitely need
And
to
I
tap
will
into
say
that
that like
one.
you're gonna love it. There also is a shadowy best friend who may or may not have a book of his own, and he may
Okay.
fall in love with a corporate baddie. So
Fun.
it's there's magic, there's evil ex-girlfriends, there's craziness going on in hell. Also, because he is her soulmate, whatever problems he has in the underworld, they now will follow her. She lives in the real world, may I add.
Yeah.
So yeah, he she calls for him and he appears. He's like, I was in the middle of like a task, and she's like, you need to save me, boy. So it's very good. And I think you would really, really like I Accidentally Summoned a Demon Boyfriend by Jessica Cage. Also, it's on Kindle Unlimited.
Yes, okay. I think I have it saved on my KU list actually.
Yes. And the other books in the series are also on Kindle Unlimited. And she has a sapphic story coming out this year that is going to be so.
Wow.
So, this book, yeah, I know you're going to love it. The author is also really well known on social media. People will give her like prompts. Like she'll find like little prompts or like social media posts, and she'll like take that clip and then write her own little chapter on that edit.
Shut up.
Yes. And she
That
has
is
like
so
different
cool.
keyboards for every little story. She's
Wow.
awesome. She's super
Yeah,
cool.
she
So
is.
I highly recommend it. Definitely check that baby out. And my last icebreaker bookish question for you is what is a book that you think is underrated that you would love to see more people give kind of love and attention to?
That would be All His Pretty Girls by Charlie Cox. This is actually the
Ooh.
first in a series. The main character's name is actually Alyssa. It's the Detective Alyssa Wyatt series. So it's
Whoa.
basically, yeah. So it's like kind of like Criminal Minds, Law and Order type of stuff. So
Oh.
like each book is like a different case essentially. But this one is literally it's about a serial killer. And it turns out that the serial killer actually knows Alyssa, which is the lead detective. And it's kind of like it's almost like a cat and mouse type of thing, where
Ooh.
she's chasing him, he's chasing her. And of course, like I said, he knows things about her. And so she's like, how do you know things about me? Um, and yeah, but this is the first book in a series. You can read them as standalones, but I think reading them in order is best just because there's things that are brought up in the following books that happened in the previous books that kind of tie things together, you know what I mean? And like change different characters and stuff. I actually did the audiobooks for all of these. So if you're able, I do recommend that because the narrator, it's only one narrator, but she voices all of the like even the male characters like so well, like they all have distinct voices. um
Ooh.
and even like the fifth book that just released this year actually, um I eyeball read that one, but I could still kind of excuse me, I could still kind of hear the narrator's voice in my head, which was kind of crazy because I'm like, oh, I know what Hal sounds like, or I know what Cord sounds like. So, anyways, I definitely would say All His Pretty Girls by Charlie Cox. It is a crime thriller, and the whole series is just really great. And I like that the you not only get like um, excuse me, Alyssa's point of view, but you also get like the victim's point of view, the survivor's point of view, and like the serial killer's point of view. And I like that she really humanizes the victims and the survivors. And I feel like in some thrillers, it kind of, depending on how they're written, the bad guys can kind of be glamorized, but that's not how it is in these with Charlie Cox's writing. So that's something I really appreciate too.
Ooh, okay. I like they're going into a different genre
Mm-hmm.
because mine is also a different genre.
Okay.
Okay, so this deserves a little bit of background. The first author interview I ever did, what on this podcast ever, was with this author. Her name's Mathilda Zeller, and she is an Indigenous horror author.
Wow.
She's really freaking cool. The episode's still up. She's awesome. I was so nervous. But I read
I'm
her
sure you
short
smashed
story.
it.
Thank you. I read her short story in this collection, and it was the first short story in this horror anthology. I'm a huge scaredy cat, but I've always wanted to read more diverse horror, and
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate complex stories with like really spooky characters. I love a good haunted house. I always have. I need it to make sense, like why I'm scared.
Right.
So this collection is very close to my heart. I'm actually having Mathilda back because her short
Mm,
story, she's going to do a full blown novel now. So that's coming out this
wow.
year,
That's
which is so fun.
amazing.
Yes,
Yes.
it's
Full
going to be
circle.
super, super full circle. And then I'm also
Yes.
having the editors for this short story come back to the pod because they are doing a volume two of this collection. And that would
You
be,
are incredible.
thank you. This is Never Whistle at Night. This is an Indigenous dark fiction anthology. The cover has creatures and elements like teeth covered in blood, wrapped in vines, with a moth with a skull and eyes looking at you through the darkness. It is super spooky. If you the audiobook as well, each short story sounds like it's coming from a different person.
Wow.
So each short story sounds like if you've ever sat around like a campfire during summertime,
Hmm.
it feels like you're getting a different story from each person. Each author is like speaking to you. That's what it feels like. It
Yes,
is
that
so
is
good.
iconic.
I know horror is not for everyone, but it's an amazing anthology. I also will say there's a lot of really beautiful feminist elements in this collection. There's discussions of Indigenous history linked inside some of these short stories. There's a lot of diversity as well. There's some dark magic. There's some haunted kids. There's a girl
Everything.
who, I'm telling you, there's a girl who goes to like a fraternity party and an old spirit goes into the body of a frat boy and follows her down a like dark path. But
Whoa.
the demon may not be the victim in the situation. So good, so
Oh,
good. I'm telling you, this is such a good collection. And Mathilda's short story is the first story in this collection. And it follows on a real mythical creature from an Alaskan tribe and the history she found. She rewrote it in this short story. And it's about a creature that can look like you in the darkness. And that is the short story she is now creating into an entire novel, but it is based on true events.
yes, that is phenomenal. Like a historical horror fiction kind of thing.
Mm, I'm just saying, all of the stories are so good. It's an amazing anthology, and they're coming out with a volume two called Back for Blood, I think. Never Whistle at Night, like Back for Blood. So I'm so excited.
Yes,
I'm just saying, Stephen King is not by any means the only person out here who can write horror. All right.
right. Say that
Please.
again.
I'm just saying. So if you like the vibes of like, if you love Sinners and that 2 seconds you saw the indigenous folks who were like, you got to get out of this house. If you want that energy from their perspective, read
That is
volume
an
one.
amazing comparison. I'm into that.
I'm telling you, if anyone watched Sinners and was like, I want to know where they're going,
Hmm.
get Never Whistle at Night. You won't regret it. It's so freaking good. And
Love
like I
that.
said, I flew through the audiobook and you can take breaks, you can hop around. So, okay, we did our little icebreaker. Now I want to dive into some of your favorite books of last year and some of your favorite books going into this year.
Okay, we
Yeah.
can do that.
Okay, cool.
I had a lot of, I say a lot, I had a few young adult fiction novels that I fell in love with. The first one would be Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School. The author's name is now actually Sonito Reyes. And the writing is just phenomenal. So it is about a 16-year-old girl who has just moved. Her name is Yamilet. She has just been transferred to a all-girls Catholic school. And unfortunately, her ex-girlfriend outed her. And she's still trying to, well, obviously everybody at the new school knows, but like at home with her mom does not know that she is gay. And so she's like trying to keep that in. Her mom is incredibly Catholic. So there's all the expectations and pressure that that comes with, as well as like navigating a new school, being like the only, if not one of the only Mexican kids in a predominantly white school. So she's navigating that, and then also trying to like keep up and keep in contact with her dad, who is actually back in Mexico, and then trying to navigate how or if she's going to tell her parents that she's gay, and of course, like battling um, like what the aftermath of that would be, because obviously, again, her parents are Catholic, and so their mindset is very much homophobic, of course. And so I can only imagine how scary that must be. But I honestly like Yami as a character. I just fell in love with her on like the first page because she's just so hilarious and relatable, and she can like, I don't know, make crappy situations like funny. Like she can find light in crappy situations. Um, but yeah, so it's really just follows Yamilet and her like journey through all of that, like literally her guide to Catholic school. I definitely was very, it's like an emotional roller coaster because I was laughing and then I was pissed off and then I was just like crying tears of joy. So yeah, I highly recommend this one. And there's also a second book about her brother, which I look forward to reading very soon. I was actually going to start it last week, but anyways, mood reader. But yeah, so Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School is definitely one that I highly, highly recommend.
I actually own that book. I let my friend borrow it before I could read it because she wanted to read it. So now I will have to grab it right back because
Yes.
she's had it for like a year. I'm like, hey,
Oh,
yo, I might need that back. I might need that back.
her renewal date is cut off.
I'm sitting here. I'm like, how long is too long to let somebody borrow your book? So I
Hmm.
technically own it, but my friend is currently borrowing it for an extended period of time. I may need to grab that back.
Yes, you
I may need to grab
do.
that back.
It is so good. And it's actually one that I could see myself rereading. And I don't typically reread books.
Okay.
So I feel like that says a lot too. And also, there's chapter titles. And I feel like not a lot of books have chapter titles these
I
days. So
love
that was
those
something
too.
that I absolutely loved.
I like when it
Um,
matches the vibe of what's going to happen.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So, yeah, that was one of them.
Ooh.
Another one that is also YA is All My Rage by Sabaa Tahir. This is one of her contemporary fiction YAs, but she also writes, I think, fantasy and dystopian as well. Anyways, this is about two high school students, Sal and Noor, or Salahuddin and Noor. They grew up together. Um, Noor actually came to the States as a child. I think she was like 3 years old. And her and Sal were like two of the only two Pakistani children. And so they kind of got pushed together, I guess. Anyway, so they've always grown up together. Um, Noor's lives with her uncle, and he owns like a convenience store. And then Sal's parents own a motel, and honestly, both of them have like a lot going on at home. And so that affects their personal life because the adults in their life kind of have put that on them. And so it's kind of them navigating that together. And then something happens and they have to figure out if they're still going to be friends or not. So it's like kind of like I guess you could say like a star-crossed lovers type of thing, because like they've been friends forever, but they also kind of have always liked each other. But then he's dated other people. I don't know. It's just a lot, but it's very emotional. Something tragic does happen, so they have to also figure out how to navigate that together. And I feel like I'm being incredibly vague, but I am a firm believer in going into books blind. Like I like to have a general consensus of what I'm going to read, but I like to go in blind for like the full element of surprise. Like I need everything to just hit me. Um,
Okay.
but this one, another emotional roller coaster, and definitely should check trigger warnings as well for this one because it's a lot goes on, a lot happens. But the writing is so good. I feel like the characters jumped off the page. And I say jump off the page, but even I listened to the audiobook and the narrators were amazing. I think that they really brought the characters to life. So again, if you're able, I do recommend the audiobook as well. Have you read anything from this author? She also wrote Ember and the Ashes. I think that's her
I have
fantasy.
not. I have not.
No.
But all the books you're mentioning will be linked in the show notes below. So I
Yes.
will definitely be adding that to my TBR.
Yay.
That sounds really, really good. I'm sitting here and I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna need my tissues. I feel like I'm
Yes.
gonna need my tissues.
Yes, 100%. I was like empty and thinking about that. Like every time I drove past a motel, I'm like, oh my God. So,
No, I live in Florida. Like 80% of our stuff is tourists.
right.
Please. Okay, but I am mentally and emotionally ready. I'm prepared to be hurt. I am prepared.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the other, I guess it's YA. I don't really know what you consider YA because she's the main character is in like her first year of college. But this
Mm.
is Thirsty by Jas Hammonds. Have you read? I feel like you were telling me I need to hurry up and pick this up. Did
That's actually
you?
on my TBR. I
Oh,
think that's
okay.
another one on my list I want to read.
Okay, because they also wrote, Jas Hammonds also wrote We Deserve Monuments, which is another favorite of mine.
Ooh.
Um, anyway, so this is Thirsty by Jas Hammonds, and it is about a girl named Blake. She and her girlfriend are in their first year of college. They're trying to get into this, it's basically like a sorority, but it's like a secret society. It's all Black women, and basically they're just trying to get in. And so there's all these different, like, I guess rituals and like, I don't know what you call them. It's not hazing technically, but like, I don't know what you call that. There's all these different challenges that they have to go through to try to get into the program. Um, but what's really affecting Blake is the fact that she has a alcohol issue, and it's kind of like her girlfriend's not really helping her. And so it's Blake, her girlfriend, and then her friend. They're like a trio. And the
Mhm.
third friend is kind of like trying to tell Blake, like, hey, your girlfriend is not helping you. And Blake's like, no, she is helping me. Like, she's always there for me. And the third friend is always the one that's having to like pick up Blake from the floor essentially and always having to take care of her. And her girlfriend's just kind of like in la la land, like, no, Blake's fine. Um, so I think the writing is just like you feel everything with the character, and you also feel everything like with the side characters, like the friend who is always having to pick up Blake. um just feel really empathetic towards the situation overall, like on all three parties, I guess you could say. um but yeah, again, I'm so vague, but it is sort of coming of age. Lots of like self-discovery, like um, self-identity discovery, of course, LGBTQ themes, mental health rep, all of the things. Very, very emotional, and really good character development as well.
Hmm. I like this. I'm ready. I'm emotionally. I'm like. I'm sitting here as you're describing it. I'm like, oof. Why do I feel like this is gonna give me like the same emotional punch that like The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson is gonna give me?
Yes, I could see
That's
those
yeah.
vibes for
I'm sitting here
sure.
and I'm like, I will never emotionally recover from this. So each recommendation you give me, I'm like, oh, oh, my money
Emo.
is gone. It's gone. Okay, what is your
Yes.
next recommendation?
Let's see. Let's get into some stuff that I've read this year finally. I'm gonna go with They Wouldn't Dare by Deanna Gray. And I know you just had her on the pod, which is so
She's so
freaking
cool.
iconic.
Dude, I need my
Iconic.
copy ASAP. Ugh.
Yes, I was so lucky to receive this as a PR package, and it came with some character art and some bookmarks and all the fun things. This is They Wouldn't Dare by Deanna Gray. It is also, it's not really a sports romance because it's not really focused on that. But we follow Yara and David, and they have known each other and kind of been in like this back and forth since middle school, constantly going back and forth, doing dares and all of these things. And now they are in college. They are juniors in college, juniors or seniors in college. But they end up having to fake date. And so that's fun. There's a little bit of forced proximity, all the banter, because obviously they're going back and forth, like doing dares with each other and seeing kind of how far that they'll go. They've always said like they hated each other, but for some reason they're always around each other. They're always figuring out ways to be around each other. Um, so there's a little bit of mutual pining, I guess you could say, but he definitely falls first. And it's just very cutesy, and there's a very lovely like friend group, very diverse cast. They both are bisexual. What else? Just all the things, all of the fun things, and I just love the. I find a lot of comfort in Deanna's writing.
Me too.
Yeah, whenever I first started reading in 2022, she's like one of the first like indie authors that I like started reading. I started with Sunny Disposition, which is a part of her Mendel Hawk series. And that's the other thing that I will say is that in They Wouldn't Dare, there's characters, cameos from other characters in the Mendel Hawk series. So that was fun because I'm like, hey, I know them. um, but yeah, this is another one that I would definitely recommend. It is single POV, and I'm super picky about that with romance, especially. I usually like dual POV, but Deanna really did that because there's a lot of dialogue. So I feel like you definitely get to know both of the characters. So that's really nice. And yeah, so that's another one. That's one that I
I'm a
actually
huge
read
fan of
this
her
year.
writing too.
Yeah.
No, sweet. Like I will say that's the same book. The one you recommended before is the same book. I started off with her, and then I got into her most recent one,
Mm.
Oasis, and I loved that one too.
Okay, I need to read
So
that one still.
that was a novella. That was really, really good. That was really, really, really
Okay,
good. So I
I
want to
believe
read
you.
that one, and I know she has her autumn one coming out soon, which is so
Yes,
exciting. Y'all listen to that episode. Deanna Gray is so sweet. We support indie authors in this house, and she's
always.
just amazing. So I love that you picked that book. I need my copy ASAP. So
Yes,
great
yes.
choice.
Thanks.
Yes.
Okay, and then I think this last one is going to be a series that I recently finished and actually want to give away for. This is the Martyr Maker series by Eriq
Mm.
LaSalle. And Eriq LaSalle has actually directed several different like TV shows and stuff, like CSI and different crime thriller TV shows, like crime procedural shows, dramas, sorry. Anyway, and the cool thing about this is that he narrates all of them because he's an actor himself. Actor,
That's
writer,
cool.
director, all the things. Super cool. This is the Martyr Maker series. I don't know if I already said that, but the first book is Laws of Depravity. The second book is Laws of Wrath. The third book is Laws of Annihilation. And then there is a fourth book coming out, but for some reason I am going blank on the title, but I believe it comes out in September. But this is another procedural crime series. We followed two um, detectives, and basically, there's some crazy people doing some crazy stuff, and they have to find them. And what's interesting about these plot lines is that normally with thrillers, at least ones that I've read in the past, you're kind of trying to figure out um, who the killer is, basically, like alongside the detectives or the people who are hunting them. But with these stories, you already know who it is, and you're just trying to figure out like why they're doing it, and also like going along with them, trying to figure out where they are and all the things. But this first book, Laws of Depravity, basically, like I'll read the back. It says 30 years, 36 priests butchered. His bloodiest masterpiece is yet to come. And so it's about this guy who has literally been murdering priests basically all over the US. But he only does it every 10 or 12 years or something like that. And there's an FBI detective who has been hunting him for 30 years. And so she like teams up with um, Fee and Quincy, who are the two main characters, and they have to find him. And each book has been about a different case, but things from previous books kind of pop up in the following ones and add to like the character development and add to the characters' lives. Excuse me. And I will say another reason why I like these is because the characters are all definitely humanized. And in the third book, I actually was like tearing up. Because I don't know, you just come to really get to know and root for the main characters, which is something I really love. And yeah, so it really makes you like question your morals too, because the main characters are a little bit morally gray, but then you also kind of obviously murder and stuff is bad, but some of this stuff is kind of like, well, they did do some bad things. So it's like, I don't know, it just makes you question what you believe in, question your morals, and all of those things. They just really make you think, and it's just not, they're not your regular like cookie cutter thrillers, I guess.
Ooh, okay. I love all the book recommendations you gave. I noticed you really enjoy a good thriller. So I have
Mhm.
three thrillers or three. spooky thrillers I think you'll enjoy.
Okay.
And
I'm
most of them
listening.
are really good audiobooks. It seems that you like audiobooks too. So I'm
I
sitting here and
do.
I'm like, I know exactly what
You know
you
me.
need. Yeah. So I actually have an episode coming out of my favorite like spooky audiobooks. So these are a few that will be mentioned on that, but I think that these would be perfect for you. I also have a romance that I think you'd really love.
Yay, I'm
Okay.
excited.
So if you like podcast vibes and you like
Mhm.
Criminal Minds vibes, like all the
100%.
pieces connecting to figure out who it is,
Yes.
I highly recommend Nightwatcher by Daphne Woolsoncroft. She has
Okay.
her it's not, I don't think they're connected, but I would recommend Nightwatcher. This came out last year. It's a debut thriller, and the author actually is a true crime podcaster in real life.
Wait, I swear. Wait,
It
is it?
is so good. It's yes,
Oh,
it's called
okay, okay,
Night
okay.
Watcher. The cover is like, I guess the cover I'm used to is like, it's like kind of hazy. It's like
Mm-hmm.
trees and it's dark, and you see the silhouette of like a man from a distance.
Yes.
Yes. So Night Watcher follows a like a radio show host, and she is every night like people call in and they tell like scary stories or they talk about like true crime things that they've experienced. And one night someone calls and she thinks that it's like a prank call at first. And that happens sometimes. But they're live on air. And in the audiobook, you
Mm.
hear like the crackling of the radio. The
Oh, that's
quality
my cup
is
of tea.
amazing for a debut. The
Heck
quality
yeah.
is very good, but you hear the crackling, and this woman is like, "Oh my gosh, there's a man in my house," and she's
Mm.
like, "I think I see him through the window. Like, there's somebody in my house. I'm hiding in the closet." And long story short, the main character is thinking like this person might be effing with her, and then
Mm-hmm.
eventually she's like, the girl describes what the man looks like, and the main character in real time is like, I know exactly who she's talking about. This
Mm.
person's very real. This person's very dangerous. And before she can warn them, the girl starts screaming. The call drops. And
Oh
then you get
my.
another perspective of like the cop who's investigating, who has a connection to her father. Her dad used to be the host of this podcast, this radio show called Night Watcher. And he handed it down
Mm-hmm.
to his daughter when he was going to retire. He's going to become an author. And you end up realizing that like the cop who investigated something in the past and the dad is writing a book about this criminal that was never caught, and you're beginning to
Mm.
connect the dots. I will also say that in the beginning of the book, this is very much rooted in reality. The author did lose a relative due to a crime.
Wow.
So there's a lot of respect for victims throughout the story. It's not done in a way where it's like racing from body to body. It's done with a lot of
Mm-hmm.
care and respect. And because
I
the
love
author
that.
also follows true crime in real life, she's been doing this for years. There's a lot of respect just at the root of this story. Wow. For a debut, it was beautifully written and it's incredibly chilling. It reminded me of like Scream if Sydney experienced this as a child into adulthood.
Okay.
That's what it feels like. Like, what if
Mm-hmm.
everything that happened in Scream happened to a little kid, and now that kid is grown up, and her entire career is surrounded by this constant sense of like anxiety and
Mm-hmm.
stress?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it feels like.
Wow, I'm sold. I immediately
Oh,
put it on hold on Libby.
it's
So,
so good, dude. I did a book talk about it for the podcast. So the first 5 minutes are non spoiler, and the rest of
perf.
the episode is like a deep dive.
Nice.
So it is, if you, when you do read it, circle back to that episode. I promise you
Yes,
won't regret it.
I must.
For sure. Okay, circling back to the radio show, spooky, true crime vibes. I
Hmm.
highly recommend this book. It's called Tell Me What You Did. It's
Carter
also,
Wilson.
yeah. Have you read
Okay,
it?
yes, I did read it last year, I think, at some point.
Okay. Great minds think alike. My last spooky recommendation. Oh my gosh. It's good you go in blind.
Hmm.
All I'm gonna say is haunted film. Um, haunted film. It gives the vibes of The Omen. Like if there was a real cast, a real movie in this book. So long story short, this girl's on a flight. She's a reporter, and she, as a child, was on the set for this like scary movie. But it turned out that she was a child actor on set. She played like a creepy kid, like the main character creepy kid. Imagine like The Conjuring. And now it's
Okay.
20 years in the future, and everyone who was on that set has passed away from like strange
Mm.
occurrences. It appears like natural causes, but it's like every single person who was on that movie set has died.
Wow.
And she's had to like hide her her real like
Identity.
identity because she's like she was so famous for this one role, and she's like, I don't want this to like rule my life. It was not a great experience. And you end up finding out that she's a reporter, and nobody knows that she was part of this film. And now her next job that she's being sent off to is that they're going to be redoing the film. They're going to be redoing
Um,
the film. They recast her role. They recast everything, and she feels this like disgust and this rage. And then as you experience the story, you begin to realize like there are things in her past that she's like suppressed. It is
mhm.
so good. The book is
Wow.
called Burn
It's
the Negative. It is
okay.
so good.
Definitely
Um,
saving that one too.
it's by Josh Winning. It is one of the best books I've read. Period. One of the
Wow.
best books
That's a
I've ever read. I don't care. It gives me the same
that.
energy as like Candyman. It reminds me
Ooh,
of that element of
spooky.
like, um, what does it mean when you're afraid? And from the perspective of a child, and there's adults around you who are telling you like scary things or manipulating you to a certain extent, especially in like the film genre, like what we've seen with Nickelodeon and Disney.
Hmm.
When these
Hmm.
kids are put in front of a camera and their parents are like putting pressure on them to perform, the
Yes.
real scary part is like the adults
Hmm.
and the real creature, like, or the real entity, like in Candyman. He is not the scariest thing there. It's what made him. That
Right.
is what makes this book so freaking scary. Is like, yes, you need someone to blame, you need someone to be afraid of, yes, but also like the film industry and the way that kids are treated, and like the way that adults later treated, and the way that people point at someone and they say like, you're the kid because you did A, B, and C. Maybe the kid wasn't like that. This is one of those
Right.
really good books that like turns it on the head. You think you know what's happening, and I promise you do not. It is so good. It is
That.
so good.
Yeah. I
That's
have
all
it
I'm gonna
saved
say. I'm
too.
sitting here, I'm like, I love that man.
You were putting me
It's
on.
amazing. It is so, like I said, once it picks up steam, oh boy, is it good. So I think you'll love that.
Thank
So
you
that's
so
that.
much.
For sure. The last one is, it is a thriller. I saw that your first book recommendation, your last book recommendation were very Criminal Minds-esque. So
Hmm.
this is a book I wish got more love, and it's written by two best friends. So there's
Oh.
that. Two authors, writing is one. But it is called The Lake of Lost Girls.
Okay, it does
It
sound
is
familiar too.
so good. Yes, and I think they've written another book. I just haven't had the chance to read it. It's by Catherine Green.
Okay, yes, I
Um,
found it. Hmm.
yes, it
I think I
is
have seen
dual
that.
timeline. You have the 90s and you have now, and you're following a girl whose sister came home from college her freshman year, and while going into the back seat to grab her birthday cake, because there's a like her little sister, let's say, is like 6 or 7. She came home to celebrate her little sister's birthday. She's this like golden girl. It's giving very much like Pretty Little Liars vibes.
Hmm.
She comes home to visit her little sister, and when she goes into the back seat to get the cake at her own house, she goes missing. Like within that period of time, like to go get the cake from her back seat, boom, gone. And she's never, like, they just never find her. And then you flash forward into the future, and the little sister, like, the news got onto it. It became a cold case. Her parents are really recovered. The little sister has grown up. She's an adult now, and she's beginning to unravel the secrets of what really happened to her sister, what her life is really like. If you liked the energy of like Criminal Minds meets Pretty Little Liars, but
Hmm.
adult, like very adult, this is for you. It was so good. The dual timelines, the like creepy moments, it was amazing. But The Lake of Lost
It's
Girls, I also have a book talk, and I think you'll love
perf.
it.
Perf. You're hooking me
For sure.
up.
I think you'll like it. And like I said, I like a good twist where I don't see things coming. And I like
100%.
characters who are like flawed, genuinely
Yes.
not perfect people.
Hmm.
Ooh, we love to see it. I'm sitting here,
Yeah.
I'm like, if you can blow my mind, you can blow my mind. But yes, I think you'll love those books.
I think
The
so too.
For sure. And the last thing is that there's a romance that I think you would really love. I'm hoping you haven't read it yet. It's kind of like it's like my little gem. I don't recommend it very much because I'm so protective, but I
I
feel
feel
like you're gonna
honored.
love it. No, it is called Next to You,
Okay.
by Hannah Bonham Young.
Oh, perfect. That's on my TBR.
Yes,
I think it's on my
broski.
shelf, actually.
Yes. Okay, Out on a Limb was amazing. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I love it. And I really appreciate a good friends to lovers. This one, I imagined the MMC is like Jason Momoa. He's supposed to be like a big teddy
Hmm.
bear. So that's
I
kind of
can
what I
see
was
it.
vibing. Yeah, but like I pretty much they meet during New Year's. He immediately is like, "Oh, beautiful woman. Oh my gosh, I love you." And she's like, "Oh, like just looking for a friend at the time." She has anxiety, and the representation for that I thought was very beautifully done. As someone who has anxiety, I've never read about it so accurately before. I've done with so much
Wow.
care. It was
Hmm.
beautiful, but they end up meeting and they become really good friends, but deep down like you can already tell he really likes her.
Yeah.
He just acts of service. She decides
Oh,
to like
that's my
buy a
cup of
school
tea.
bus and he helps her fix up the school bus.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Girl,
might have to pick that up next. It's
it is
literally
actually
sitting on my
super
shelf.
cute. It is. It does. I do want to give a heads up. It does touch on grief. It does touch on like having panic attacks and like socially withdrawing at times. But
Hmm.
the way that he cares and like treats her is so beautiful. And like
Wow.
he's the kind of guy like if he gets a kiss, like there may be a moment like on like the security cameras where people catch him like skipping across the parking lot. Like my man is like, oh my gosh, like dreams come true. So it's just so wholesome
That
and
is so cute.
beautiful. I love Hannah Bonham Young. But that is one like traditionally published author romance I think you're gonna love. I know she was indie at one point. Her books are also on Hoopla and they're also on Libby. The audiobooks are on there
Amazing.
too.
Yes, I have read Out on a Limb and Out of the Woods. I need to read her Next of Kin series, though.
I'm telling you, so freaking good. I guess my last one is this is an indie author,
Hmm.
and not many people know her, but she's really freaking good. The book is called Bloom by I think it's E.J. Blaze.
Wait, okay, go. Sorry, because I swear
Yes,
I
it's called
just
Bloom.
okay.
I have posted about it a few times. So I'm sitting here, I'm like the little gremlin in the corner, like I think I've seen that. I'm like, it may be me. It's called Bloom by I think it's E.L. Blaze or E.J. Blaze, and it follows this girl. Ever since I've read this book, I've been trying to find a book that hits the spot, and it's very hard. It is very specific. It's so good. It's this
Oh,
girl. She's a
cute.
florist,
Hmm.
and she works in like a small town. Her dad has unfortunately has like alcohol issues and she has a really hard home life, so her job is like her whole life. And she ends up like she kind of lives in this like small country town and she
Cute.
works at this little florist shop. She ends up like living above the florist shop to get away from her dad, and she ends up meeting this really handsome guy who's kind of aloof and mysterious. He's like super big and bulky, and he is the new ranch hand on her best friend's land. And long story short, you don't get his POV until much later, but at the beginning of every chapter, you get a snippet of what he's thinking.
Oh, cute. That's different.
It is very different. And because his exterior is so like aloof, like he only
Hmm.
responds in like humph, like he only responds in
Right.
like one word things.
Grunts.
You
Yeah.
get his perspective in the beginning of every single chapter, and it makes you kind of like realize he's a very gentle giant. Like there's
Oh.
things he's holding inside that he's scared he doesn't want to be judged for.
Hmm.
But whenever she has a problem, he's like, just tell me what to do, like I will fix it. It just Southern
Yeah.
gentleman, super sweet. He watches movies with her, like he's very kind.
Oh,
He
that's
just needs time. He's very
yes.
sweet. But yes, it's super cute. He calls her like honey, and like their relationship is
Oh.
definitely a slow burn. There is a bit of spice. He's just so tender and kind with her. So Bloom is the first book in the series, and the author released a second book called Chaos, set in the same town. If you like black cat, like golden retriever, she's the black cat, he's the golden retriever.
For
In that
sure.
book, there is a sister in the who lives on the ranch, and she's kind of prickly. Everyone views her as being very aloof and like, don't talk to me. You
Hmm.
get her perspective, and you realize like why she is that way. And she ends up falling in love with this like really charming kind of golden boy. He's just like, I imagine him as the guy from How to Get Away with Murder, like the light skinned guy from How to Get Away with Murder, who's super
Yes.
tall. He's
Yes.
supposed to be like that. He's just
Okay.
beautiful. She knows he's beautiful. He knows he's beautiful. And long story short, she's very prickly, and she's navigating some things that she's going through, and he's very soft and kind to her. And when she's prickly and mean to him, he's like, "Why am I kind of like? Why are you flirting with me
Into
right now?
that.
Like, what's
Yeah.
happening?" And she's like, "I'm not." He's like, "But you are." And it's very, very cute. So
It
Chaos is
sounds
like,
good.
it's so good. Bloom is like the sweet, like, I'm here for you, grumpy sunshine. Chaos is like her, like, leave me alone. And he's like, okay, I'll go on a date. Like, let's go on a
Yeah.
date right now. That's the energy. So
I love
it's
that.
so good. And both do have happy endings. Like, they have hard
Perfect.
moments. They do have happy endings. They do. So
Perfect.
yes, those are my
I'm
recommendations for
s-
you.
I love this. I am like so excited
I'm
now.
like, circle back when you choose the one you love. You can either do
Yeah.
murder or love. So
That's perfect.
yes, for
All
me, I'm
about
like, I got
balance.
two modes, and that's
Yes.
it. But
Literally.
Chloe, you are so wonderful. Where can
You
everyone find
are.
you on YouTube, on socials?
YouTube and all my socials are at Chloe Redbat, CHLOREADTHAT.
Awesome. You're so amazing. I'm grateful I got to have you on the podcast, Chloe. You're so cool.
Oh.
And yeah, what do you want to tell listeners before you head out?
Um, Thank you for listening. Subscribe to Alyssa's channel, watch all her podcasts, listen to all her podcasts, follow her everywhere, and read more books.
100%. Everybody, please read more. Everyone, please follow Chloe. Her blog is amazing. Her YouTube is like a comfort. And I hope that y'all
Oh.
have an absolutely wonderful day. And check out all these books. They'll be linked to the show notes below. Bye.